Hello everyone, Mr. Mysterious here, coming at you with another Holo-E-Book review. This week, as promised, we will be reviewing Darth Bane Rule of Two, the second book in the Darth Bane Trilogy of books. And I said that it's not as good as the first one last time, and I stick by that. I do not think it is as good as the first one. I think that trend continues into the last one. However, it is still a competent book on its own, and I'll tell you why. Here's what I like about the book. I like, as much as I enjoy the first one for its focus on Bane, and pretty much just Bane and anything related to Bane, because I really like Bane as a character, I do enjoy some of the other characters they bring in, mostly Darth Zana, Bane's apprentice. We do switch to her perspective fairly frequently, and it really helps the story having another person to bear the load, because, let's be honest, Bane isn't doing that much around this time except starting to build up his network for the new Sith. And I really enjoy Darth Zana as a character, because she does indeed have a character arc, and in the end, she is her own person. That's not Bane, that's, while taking a lot of the Sith aspects, is not the embodiment. She is not Bane, she's not the Sithari, but she's trying her best. Another thing I like is the whole process of Zana training. Her starting out on Ruzan as a little girl, just trying to make her way, picked up by Darth Bane, and the trial she has to go through to actually become his apprentice, stealing a ship, killing its crew, and getting to Onderon, I believe. It's really interesting to watch, because the inner dialogue in this is written very well, it's very competent, and it gets across the feelings of the moment very well. The story is good, and the characters are all fleshed out pretty well. You can tell their motivations, why they're doing things, and everything's explained. And another thing is just, I like Bane. I really like returning to a Bane story, because I feel like he's an interesting character set in an interesting time doing interesting things, and that has all of the tick marks for a fun character. Fun character to watch, and fun character to follow along in his quest, I should say. I gotta say, though, there are a few noticeable flaws that I could find. There are one or two uninteresting characters that are given time. Mostly, I'd say it's the third character the story switches focus to. First character is Darth Bane, second is Darth Zana, and the third is Johan. The thing about Johan, he is the not Sith, but the Jedi apprentice of Lord Hoth from the last book, and he was left masterless at the end of that due to his master being killed in the caves. So Johan's it shows him in a bit of a character arc, from going from a more idealistic person to an actual Jedi, a full-fledged Jedi with its own moral compass. And I really don't like saying this, because the concept is good. You could have a lot of interesting stuff with the apprentice of a normally kind of cowboy Jedi that's now lost, but it's not really explored as much as it could have been, and I feel that him just as a character is not that interesting. Another thing is, I really think, as much as I just said literally a few minutes ago, that I really like that it switches around some, I think it switches around too much, and I think more focus needs to be kept, because we tend to lose some when we're switching between characters, where it switches too frequently, it switches to some side characters, where it would have been better if it was just left focused on the character of the moment before moving on, and we get to see a little bit more of what they're doing. My last kind of gripe here is too little time is spent on Darth Zana's training as an apprentice. We see her as a child, we see her in her first kind of test, we see her in her young adulthood, doing missions for Bane and the Sith, and we don't really see much in the middle. I mean, we get a brief flashback or two of her training, like being trained as a Sith sorcerer, being trained to not have compassion, henceforth and so on. But not a lot of time is devoted to that, and considering what an important character Darzana is, it feels like they jumped the gun a bit trying to get her into a mature age too early into the book, where it would have been better if, even if the length had been a little bit longer, it would have been better if more time had been spent fleshing it out, even if it was just in a chapter or two. So kind of my conclusion on this is, it's a very competent book. It does not live up to the first book, but I don't really hold that against it, since I hold the first book in very high esteem. Competent written, good characters, return to Bane, held down by some weaknesses, and an uninteresting main character. If you enjoy the first one, I believe you'll enjoy this one, and you'll enjoy pretty much the entire Bane trilogy, because the second and third are basically more of the first, just in different forms. And I give this a hesitant thumbs up, I guess. Okay. I will see you guys next time. We will be reviewing Darth Bane Dynasty of Evil, the last in the Bane series, and then I have some ideas for what we'll be moving on to. Mr. Mysterious signing off.